Hello, my name is Clara and welcome to my knitting podcast. Hello and welcome to my knitting podcast. I'd like to introduce a little bit myself. I'm Clara, I'm a knitter based in Madrid and I have been knitting for about three years. So what I like to do about my knitting is I like to self-draft my own sweaters and whatever I'm going to knit. I like to design it myself. First because I thought that I was not going to be able to understand a knitting pattern, and then because I really like the process of designing and doing the math and like kind of doing everything myself. So that is one thing, and so yes, probably most of the things that I'm going to show are not available to get. Some of them I am turning them into knitting patterns, and yeah, a little bit of what I make is from patterns from other people. So my plan with this podcast is to be organized in a traditional way, starting with what I'm wearing, then finished objects, then whips, and finally maybe sewing projects or reading recommendations. I don't know yet, but something along those lines. So let's start what I'm wearing. I'm wearing one of my self-drafted designs. This sweater, I made it 2 years ago, 2.5 probably years ago, and this is made with drops brush alpaca, and is knitted in 3.5 millimeter needles. It's just drops alpaca. It just drops brush alpaca, and then in the cuff and in the collar, I mix it with some drops floor, I think it was, to give it more consistency. So yeah, so this is designed top down. I'm going to get up so you can see it. It's designed top down with the wrangler, but with this type of yarn, it's all getting really fuzzy and you cannot really tell how it was made. So I started by casting on all the stitches around the collar and then doing the wrangler. At this point, I didn't know how to do the German sew rows, so I just knitted with pretty enough ease so that the not having sew rows were not going to be a problem. So yeah, after that I just did the increases, and when I reached kind of half the arm length, I started with the color work design. I called this sweater the rain sweater because the color work kind of remind me to the drops falling from the sky, and so I made the same with the body so that it was all the color work was starting at the same line. After the finishing touches, I just made some icors to the cuff and to the bottom, and also I then pick up stitches in the collar and make another icor. So yeah, this is what I'm wearing, and I am also wearing some handmade socks. Let me get one out. So these socks are inspired on one of Fibertail's designs. One of her socks that has a lot of flowers in the cuff. So I picked up that idea and I made it color work. So I made some color work in the toes, and then on the cuff I made the 3D flowers with some embroidery and bubbles. For the cuff, the finishing part of the I made this top down. No, I made this toe up so that I can use all the yarn, and yeah, I prefer doing it that way. It seems more easy for me. So this is a fleece heel. I'm going to put the name here, how the construction is, because I don't know exactly the name. So this is work with a Rosa Pomar soft yarn, and in the heel I reinforced it with some mohair. At that time I only had black mohair, so this is a bit, it's not a very cohesive color for the brown to match with the brown color, but it's not going to be seen. And then I made some color work, and then the flowers. I made a couple of garter rows and then the super stretchy bind off, but it was too much stretch out, and so it wasn't doing its function, so I had to run an elastic all around the cuff, and now it fits perfect. So yeah, that's all about what I'm wearing. Then finished objects. I'm going to talk about the objects that I finished around October and November, because I haven't made that much, I think, so we can do like 2 months this time. So first of all, let's start with the newest one. I had these 2 mittens, and these mittens were worked with Mancelopis, brown obviously. And these were to knit this I made to knit this I use 3.5 millimeter needles and just the leftovers from my jumper that I'm going to show right now. So yeah, this is self-drafter. I just started with cuff and then went up with some guarded bum, so that, I don't know if you can see, with a guarded bum, so that it stays in place, and then doing the increases around this side, getting the thumb stitches on hold, finishing the cuff, and then pick the thumb up again and finish it. With this yarn I always have the problem of breaking it when I'm sewing, like for example the cuff. When I sew it, the yarn keep breaking, even though it was like only 3 stitches, like 6 stitches that I have to sew. So that's one of these problems that with the yarn that I don't know how to fix it. So this is how they fit. They're a bit loose in the cuff, so maybe I'm going to put some more elastic around here, but they are really cozy. Yeah, I wanted to put some like cuff to turn it into a whole mitten, like I don't know, the one that is convertible, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough yarn. So I have another color, yarn, more of this yarn in another color, and maybe I have enough of that one to make this. But yeah, they're like a good project to end up with little scraps of yarn. And from this same yarn, I have made and just finished this sweater that I have to take all the markers out. But yeah, this is finished. I finished it 2 days ago, so I haven't worn it, and I haven't worn it yet. And it's a steam block only, but not block like wet block. So let me tell you a bit about this. This is knit with Mancelopis, also in a 4.5 millimeter needles. So this is worked top down with a circular yoke, and then with some raglan increases to finish the bust shaping. So after, there's some dust in here. So after doing the I-cord for the color, I then made some German soft rows, and then start with the texture knits. So there, I think you can see it well. Over here we have like some fly details, then some eyelets, some other flies, and then the I'm not going to remember this type of stitch. I'm going to put the type of stitch down in the screen. But yeah, but like these kind of little bubbles that kind of enclose all the texture only in the yoke. And after that it's just only knitting, just stocking it. And for the cuff I made some chunky I-cords. I don't know if you can see. And the same I-cord for the for the body. Yeah, so this is pretty long. I'm going to like this. It's pretty long. It's almost as long as the sweater that I'm wearing right now, because I wanted it to be really cozy and not to let any cold air in. So yeah, this is going to be traveling with me to Edinburgh next week. So I just finished it on time. Then another finished object I have finished last week, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a cow for my boyfriend. This is self-drafted also, and this is knit using an acrylic yarn because any other yarn is too itchy for him. So yeah, just with some yarn, acrylic yarn that I had around the house, I just made this. This is this is reversible. It works both ways, and is knit with 3.5mm needles. And the color work, instead of being just knit the stocking stitches changing color, I decided to make the all the dots. I decided to make them with slip stitches, so that they were more visible from the distance. And so yeah, I just took a chart that I saw on Pinterest and treated it to made it with the slip stitches instead of with the just stockinette stitch. And so yeah, for the change of color is the only part that is a bit more tricky to make, but I think that with from the distance it's all staying cohesive, and you don't really see a difference between one stitch and one technique and the one that is just in the change of color. So yeah, and then finally we have my last finished object, and this is my winter headband. So this, I love doing this for winter. I have 2 more made, and one I have always at work just in case I forgot mine at home, and it's very cold for going back home. And then I have another one in my entry, and then this usually is in the coat that I'm wearing mostly. So yeah, this is knit using some sock yarn with some mohair, with drops mohair, and it's knit with 2mm needles. And yeah, you cast on at the back of the hair, right there, and then you work all the way around, and then you sew the last stitches to the first ones. And so yeah, I'm going to put this so you can see. This is how it's look, and this is one of the patterns that I said I wrote, and I put it up on Ravelry. So yeah, if you are interested, is a very easy knit. Is double layer because you're knitting it in a round, so you have 2 layers in your ears, and it's really cozy for winter. I use it every day. So yeah, this is it. Oh, and I forgot about one finished object. I made the cutest little frog ever. Oh, look at this. I finished this frog, well, I did the whole knit last Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, just all the knit in a day, and it's so cute. Look at it. So this is a dop pebbles pattern, and yeah, it's called the frog, and it's the pattern recommended to be knitted in 3mm needles, but I wasn't sure about my tension and about how the stuffing was not going to get out of it, so I went down half a size. So I knitted this in 2.5mm needles with some sock yarn that I have left. The green and the cream one, they are both drops sock yarn. I think is Fable the name. And so yeah, and for the eyes, instead of doing some using some buttons or something else, I just made some embroidery mm, dots, and I think they look fine. So yeah, this is really cute. I'm planning to make more of these with some other yarn that I have left, because I have so many little balls that I don't know what to do with them, and I think this is a really great way to use them. Okay, and now let's get into whips. I have a few whips, like just a few, because I finished the brown sweater and the gloves just yesterday, so I don't have much in my nettles right now. So the first whip I have is this knit. Well, I finished it's a sock. This knit for fiber tails. I finished my first sock, and I'm knitting now in the second one. So the test knit is going to be over at the end of November, and we only had one sock made, so it's all done. But I want to have the other one as soon as possible. So this sock is worked in 2mm needles with some crazy shower ball, and for the cuff I mixed the shower ball with some drop skip silk. So this pattern is designed so that you can keep this fluffy cuff standing, so that it covers most part of your leg, or that you can put it down and be like some leg warmers. And I think this looks very cute with short boots. And so yeah, this is worked top down and with a slip with a slip heel construction, where you slip some of the stitches. Yeah, this is how I cut mine. And yeah, so some of the modifications I made. Also this pattern is called stove or something like this. I'm going to put a link right here because I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, some modifications that I made. The pattern tells you to use 4mm nails for the cuff and 2.5 for the length of the sock, the rest of the sock. But as my knitting is very loose, I got half a size down, so I use 3.5 for the cuff and 2 for the rest. And I also put some double knitting around this point, so that when you fold the cuff, it stays like in that place, and it's more easy like to keep that shape. And I also made some like a right foot and a left foot, because I like I like my socks to be one for each. Like I like my socks. I like I like my socks to be differentiated. So what I do is I make where the pinky toe is, I make kind of a more rapidly increase. Well, in this case it's decreased because I'm going from the cuff to the toe, and then on the other side is decreasing more slowly. Yeah, that's all my modifications. And from the other sock, like this is at what point I am in. I am going to, then my next step is going to make the heel flap and just keep going. So yeah, this is where we're going with this. And these are sleeping in one of my handmade project bags, which is very handy, and I want to make one more of this, but I don't have time. One of my next whips is, I just started this yesterday, so it's no more than a couple of rows. So this is what we have right now. This is going to be a v-neck with some color work, kind of like this, but changing completely the color from, let's see, around this point to the last part is going to be completely other color, and with other chart. So yeah, right now we have this, and it's going to sit around here, so I'm going to keep it increasing until I have the V down, and then keep working in the round. I'm using for this one alpaca, drops alpaca, and this is like the third or fourth time I unravel a project with this yarn and try to make another one, because it's like I'm not getting it right. But this time with these needles that are 2.5, I think I'm getting the stitch definition and density that I want. And I know it's going to be a really long project, but I don't mind it. It's not going to be made for this year for sure. This is also a raglan sweater. You can see here the raglan details. And yeah, that's it. When I finish the V, I think I'm going to put some short rows, and then we will see how it goes. Yeah, and whereas I have one whip that I'm not working very much on it because I have to unravel a little bit. This is going to be a scarf or a shawl. This is inspired one of Fiber Tales scarf, but I'm going to unravel it until here, more or less, because I don't like the direction this braid has gotten. So this is all knit in garter stitch, and then you made some braids by dropping a stitches and then picking two rows at a time, or 3 rows at a time, and yeah, just to make the braid. And in the borders we have some slip stitches, 2 slip stitches, and yeah, that's it. And I had with what yarn I'm using some drop skid silk. I'm using this heavily right now in all my projects, and then I'm using some yarn that I bought in a medieval stand in September. So this is the combination. Yeah, I don't know how much of, I have 4 balls of this one, but I don't know how much meters I have. I could make some calculations with the as I was knitting it with the drop skid silk, and I think I'm lacking one of these to finish. So yeah, also this is going to take very much time, and I don't think I'm going to finish it this winter, but I don't mind it. I have other scarves to wear, luckily. So yeah, I think that's all from my whips. And then let's see my notes. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about sewing, because I am sewing some interesting stuff right now. Let me pick it up. I went to a how you call it? I went to a quilt festival, kind of, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and there was so many stands. I never made anything quilted, and never tried. And on one of the stands I saw like they were selling kits to make kind of pictures, like, yeah. So this is what I bought. I'm still working on it. So what you do with this is you have all these different fabrics, and then you cut the shapes, and you fuse the shapes to some sticky paper that you can stick to the main fabric, like the background fabric and the color fabric. So right now I am at the point that I have glued everything together, and now I have to stitch every piece, so that if the glue goes away, it doesn't fall, and that it's cuter with the hand stitches. So right now I only have the bottom part stitch in place. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing the same with the whole thing, and after that is all stitched, I was planning on putting it in some frame so that I can give this to my mom for Christmas. I hope I can finish this on time. And yeah, and then for lastly, I'm going to start making a Wendy dress, like Wendy from Peter Pan, because we're going to have this winter for Christmas. So and lastly, I'm going to be making a Wendy dress, Wendy from Peter Pan. Uh, this year, for our Christmas dinner company event, like for in my workplace, we're going to make some dinner and it's themed. So the theme is you have to be dressed as a character. So I was planning very much what character could I be. That was just like kind of formally because I don't want to be dressed up like very costumey. I prefer to make a costume that I can wear in other places, in other situations of my life. So I just bought the fabric. Let me get the fabric 1 second. So this is a whole lot of fabric. We have the main fabric, this one, and it's very heavy, so I hope it gets me a bit warm in winter, because we have like kind of a bit of the dinner, like the first part is going to be outside, so we can socialize all together, and then we will go to the main dining hall, and each like you are in groups in different tables, like kind of like a wedding thing. And then we have the color for the bow that is in the back, like all the lace and the bow. Yes, so I'm going to start making, after I finish this video, I'm going to start making this, and I'm very, very, very happy. Last evening I finished my pattern for the bodice, because the bodice is the only thing that has to be pattern made. And the sleeve, but the sleeve I'm going to use the big puffy sleeve from Cool Stitches. I'm going to put the picture so you can know what I'm referring to. And then for the skirt, it's going to be foot length. So it's going to be just half a circle. But yeah, I'm very, very happy to be starting with this project. So I think that's all for me and for my first podcast. I hope you like it. I'm planning to make one of these kind of every month, because I don't have that much free time to be knitting and getting out projects, so I think that if not, it will be a bit boring. And I also would like to start doing like some sewing videos, like just a little bit. So maybe if I can make it, I will put a little bit of the starting of this dress after this video is ended. And yeah, so let's see if this goes well, and I will see you next month. Thank you very much for being with me. And also I forget, I'm so bad at it. I'm in the social media. You can find me as Designs by Clara. I will put it around here because there are some dots and things in between. And also, yeah, on Ravelry and Instagram, I have the same name if you want to find me. I had and just to remind, I have this pattern, and this is up in Ravelry. Yeah, so if you want to check it out, yes, it will be awesome. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon.